this this
हाइड्रोजन चाहिँ स्पेसमा चाहिँ हुन्छ
हुन्छ नि every gas is possible in space. Every gas can be possible in space. Only thing is oxygen is also possible. Oxygen, no one has said that oxygen is not possible in space. Only thing is you need an atmosphere to sustain it. You need an atmosphere that can preserve the oxygen, because oxygen is a very reactive gas. Oxygen can react with anything and become a combined state, and that combined state is totally useless for humans. We need oxygen in the free state, gaseous state ma चाहिन्छ, right? And earth is very much suited for living, because there is nothing in the atmosphere that can combine with oxygen and make it into a combined state, which becomes totally useless to us. So we can take like there can be oxygen anywhere in the universe, okay, not only in our solar system. There can be thousands of planets in the universe where oxygen is present in abundance. But the point is, how is the oxygen present? So if the oxygen is present in water, it is completely useless. If the oxygen is present in form of some combined state with some metals, it is completely useless. If yes,
How is oxygen present in water to useless? Useless.
you can't use the oxygen in water to breathe, right? You can't breathe inside water.
Fish
Fish do not use oxygen. They have a system of breathing called gills, right? They use something else. I don't know about that. I'm not a biologist. त्यति मन पर्दैन मलाई biology, but they use gills. Okay, gills have some other system of breathing. I don't know. And whales and sharks, they come to the surface and breathe oxygen only. Have you noticed? Whales and sharks, they come to the surface. Dolphins, they always move on the surface. They come to the surface, breathe air, and go in, right? So oxygen in the combined state for living organisms is practically like useless. It's no use at all. So only if you do the electrolysis of water and you can get oxygen, it'll be some useful. But the thing is, even if you are able to generate oxygen in some other planets, the atmosphere should be able to sustain it. Okay, the atmosphere should be able to keep the oxygen inside and keep the oxygen in the free state. It should be available for everyone around the planet. There should not be something floating in the atmosphere and that oxygen combines with that thing and the oxygen is not present now altogether after some time. So that will cause the total extinction of human species, that human or any living species that breathe oxygen. So it is not that oxygen is not present. Oxygen is present in many planets. They have been found in many planets. They may be found. There are a lot of planets. There may be planets where life is sustainable, where life is actually present right now, but we don't know about it. We don't have the technology to know that. But you can't say that oxygen is not present. Oxygen is present, but it cannot be sustained. It cannot be held together in many places. It cannot be held together because of the conditions there. Okay. So there are planets where. हजुर
अब हामीलाई याद भयो होइन अब हाइड्रोजन चाहिँ जब हाई भेलोसिटीमा गएर चाहिँ अब इभेन्टखेरि चाहिँ हिलियम सनदेखि प्रड्युस गर्छ अनि हुन्छ भनेर
करेक्ट
हामीले किन अनि त्यसो भने त हामीले सन पनि क्रिएट गर्दा भयो होइन
एक्ज्याक्टली बट वी डोन्ट ह्याभ एनिथिङ टु सस्टेन इट करेक्ट आई एक्सेप्ट इट सो न्युक्लियर फ्युजन र न्युक्लियर फिसन चाहिँ नि दिज आर अल इन्डस्ट्रियल प्रोसेसेस. They are used extensively on Earth to produce energy. Okay, nuclear fusion huncha ani nuclear fission huncha. Okay, nuclear fission is a process that is used in radioactivity and it is used for producing energy. Same for nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion is also used in small scale on Earth to produce energy. It is not that we don't use it, but the thing is we can't use it for a higher scale because it will be impossible for us to sustain it. The energy produced will be so high that we don't have anything to control, we don't have anything to store the energy. Okay, nuclear fission, nuclear fusion, but energy produced after you cross a certain limit, after you cross a certain amount of limit, then the energy produced will be so high that there's nothing to sustain it. हामी sustain गर्नै सक्दैन त्यो energy. There is no way we can contain and store all of those energy on Earth, and that will eventually lead to the destruction of Earth. Right, it will completely destroy the Earth. That is the reason why we have to have like proper mindset while using all this. Take only nuclear bombs. Nuclear bomb हुन्छ नि, nuclear bomb is a proper application of nuclear fission. So this is some other process. So nuclear fusion भनेको we have two small atoms combining to form a bigger atom, right? Like what is happening in sun. And there is other process called nuclear fission. So nuclear fission is when a bigger nucleus or bigger atom splits into two smaller atoms. So that is nuclear fission. So nuclear fission is the main process, main phenomenon that governs a nuclear bomb. Okay, a nuclear bomb. So if you do not know when and where to use a nuclear bomb, which should not be used, okay, nuclear fission can use गर्नु हो भने you'll make bombs, and what happened to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we know that it is like the destruction is uncomprehendable. We can't comprehend that at all. We can't think about it. कति जना मर्यो, what happened, अहिलेसम्म के छ हालत त्यहाँ, right? We know that everything. We see that everywhere. Since we have a lot of information now, we can just look around in the internet and search about that, right? It is very devastating, and that too was in the phase when we were just learning about nuclear fission. So right, we were just studying about it. We just discovered some aspects of it, right? And we use a very small quantity of it. But if by some means we use some larger quantities of material to carry out the nuclear fission process, it will be totally destructive to our Earth. We can completely lose humans totally extinct हुन सक्छ. That's why we have world peace systems, right? We have systems where we promote world peace and we try to stop like wars and all those things, and we don't use nuclear weapons on war. Nuclear fission wala bombs, we don't use it. We don't use nuclear bombs in wars. So the war that happened in Syria and all those things, they don't use nuclear bombs. Nuclear bomb is very destructive, okay? It can like wipe out an entire generation, and it'll totally stop further generations to come. It can totally happen, okay? So everything happens. We do everything in small scale. Nuclear fission pani huncha, nuclear fusion also happens on Earth in small scale, but we can't exceed a particular limit, okay? We can't exceed a particular limit because it becomes very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. We can't contain the energy that is produced. Energy yeti besi niskincha, it is practically impossible for us to contain it. Okay. Anything else?